Hi, I'm Mike Walther, founder and president of Oak Wealth Advisors, with your 2026 year-to-date market reflection. As we look back over the last couple of years, we can see that the stock market around the world has been really robust and has delivered fantastic returns. The best performing area in the stock markets has been the large US companies as proxied by the S&P 500. As you can see in both 2023 and 2024, the S&P 500 delivered over 25% returns in back-to-back years. And even in 2025 did very nice with an 18% return, all of which are well above the long-term average performance of that index, which is closer to 10%. Over 23 and 24, you can see the US large cap stocks dominated their small cap friends and the international stocks, which are those companies that are headquartered outside the United States. But in 2025, the international stocks did much better. That outperformance was driven primarily by two things in 2025. One, the US stock prices had grown significantly over the last several years to be at much higher valuations than their international brethren, those companies that are headquartered outside the United States. And with the US dollar falling in value relative to foreign currencies in 2025, that allowed for that valuation difference to have the international stocks outperform last year. The question, though, for investors is, will this trend continue in the 2026? And is there a logical place to put your money? Clearly, being diversified and having money in both US and international stocks has benefited investors over the last 3 years. Let's take a look at 2026. So to start the year, those large cap stocks that started trailing a little bit relative to their other stock market peers are again trailing. In fact, the large company segment of the stock market in the US has been basically flat, whereas the small cap stocks, those that are proxied by the Russell 2000 index, are already up 6% in just 2 months, and the international stocks have continued their run up over 10% in just the first 2 months of the year, despite all the international turmoil. So you might be wondering, why is it that the US stock market, specifically the large cap stocks in the S&P 500, why have they been trailing more recently? Let's take a look at what's been driving the outperformance in 2023 and 2024 and where that has trended in 2025 to now. As you can see in this chart on the left-hand side, the Magnificent Seven stocks, those are the largest 7 companies that are in the S&P 500. Very common technology names that we're all familiar with. NVIDIA, the big chip maker for the AI revolution. Meta, Tesla, Amazon, Alphabet, Microsoft, and Apple make up those 7 names. And as you can see, their performance was at least double the S&P 500's performance in 2023. And the names like NVIDIA and Meta were up 200% in just that 1 year. Look at 2024. Those 7 names still did very, very well in 2024 and drove the index higher because they did so well. And again, NVIDIA was by far the best performer in 2024, and 6 of those 7 names outperformed the S&P 500. But if we look at just last year, only 2 of those 7 stocks outperformed the index. And that trend's continued in 2026, where we're seeing basically flat or negative performance from these biggest names. Again, partly due to the fact that they outperformed so much in the past that investors were looking for better valuations in other areas of the market to put new capital. So as a result, what do we learn from that? Well, we learned that we have to be diversified. We can't just pick the hot name from last year and expect it to outperform. As we're seeing in 2025 and 2026, having international and small cap investments as part of a portfolio really brings great benefits to all investors. So if you have questions about your investments, please reach out to your advisor at Oak Wealth Advisors. We'd be happy to speak with you and answer your questions. And if you're looking for some advice related to special needs planning, check out our Special Needs Voice podcast. We talk to some of the industry leaders about what's going on and what the future looks like for the disability community. And follow us on all the socials to stay current on all the best planning opportunities. And with that, we hope you'll have a safe and successful 2026 and understand that nothing we just shared is tax or specific investment advice for you. You should reach out to your advisor and find what's most appropriate for your situation. Best wishes.